大家好，欢迎收看 Hive Talk 区块链风潮，我是金融科技主持人 Camille。如果说2018年区块链的主赛道是基础公链，那么随着生态体系的建设和完善，我们站在更高的维度来观察，这些独自搭建成的一个个生态的底层高速公路公链，却成了技术架构各异、互不连通、独立运行的信息孤岛。区块链与链之间的互通性差的现状，正极大程度地限制着区块链的落地应用。此时，我们对跨链技术的需求就非常迫切了。跨链技术顾名思义，就是为了实现不同区块链平台之间的资产流转、信息互通、应用协同。它类似于不同公链之间的桥梁，实现不同区块链网络之间的数据传输，并极大降低了传输成本。polkadot作为万众期待的明星级跨链项目，被彭博社评为2019年决定数字货币发展的4大项目之一。今天 Hive 有幸请到 Web 3.0基金会的合作经理 Dieter Fischbein、polkadot 生态中做出重要贡献的项目 Edgeware 的创始人地龙陈和 ChainSafe System 的 CEO Adam Harriman 与我们一起聊聊有关波卡和他的生态合作伙伴们。
It is such a great pleasure to have you three in the Hive studio. So please kindly introduce yourself to my audience.
So I'm Dieter. I work for the Web3 Foundation, and one of our projects is to build Polkadot Network, which is an interoperability platform to help connect different blockchains together. I work in collaboration, so my role is to really try to increase adoption of the network and build the developer ecosystem.
So I'm Dylan. I'm one of the co-founders of Commonwealth Labs. We're building Edgeware, which is a Polkadot smart contract platform. It'll be one of the first parachains in the Polkadot ecosystem, and this summer we're launching with a lock drop to distribute Edgeware tokens.
Hey, thanks for having me. My name is Adam Hyman. I'm a co-founder and CEO of ChainSafe Systems. And at ChainSafe, one of the exciting projects that we're working on is an implementation of the Polkadot runtime environment in Go.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Dylan and Dieter. So my first question is going for Dieter. So please tell us about the current status of Polkadot.
Polkadot is, as I explained before, is an interoperability platform designed to connect various independent blockchains together. But it won't be till about the end of this year where we're going to launch the mainnet. So we're targeting about November, which will be great. So the Web3 Foundation, Parity, and Polkadot are often kind of all thrown into the same bucket, but they're actually all a little bit different. So, one thing to note is that the Web3 Foundation is a non-for-profit Swiss foundation that's role is to really nurture and steward the broad ecosystem of decentralized protocols. So we see Polkadot very much as the first layer of a new decentralized internet designed to facilitate communication amongst men. And then our core focus right now is really building out Polkadot. But once this is produced and more stable, we're going to focus on building out higher levels of the stack. So things like developer tooling, things like different protocols to facilitate messaging. Really, we want to get it to a point where users who really don't have an appreciation for the tech can take advantage of a new kind of decentralized internet where they're in control of their own data. So we work very closely with Parity Technologies, which is probably the company that has some of the most skilled developers in the Web3 space. We've contracted them to build the first implementation of the Polkadot runtime environment, and they're also doing other work that's super important for the ecosystem, such as building Substrate, which I think we'll talk a bit about later. And then Polkadot is actually the network that the Web3 Foundation, and Parity are building together. And some people get kind of confused in this relationship, but this is how things all go together.
Thank you. As the Polkadot ecosystem partners, what's the reason behind you want to work on them?
So for us, a lot of our work is in building sidechains for our clients and maintaining open source infrastructure. So Polkadot for us really answers a lot of the problems that we are facing in our day-to-day in implementing these solutions for our clients and for these different decentralized networks. So for us, Polkadot was really an opportunity to have a lot of the things that we take for granted, such as bridging, modular consensus, and just modular blockchains in general. And it really answers all of these kind of lingering questions that we've had in the community for so long. So for us, it wasn't really a question of if we're going to work on Polkadot, it was how much are we going to work on Polkadot.
Yeah, I think I can definitely echo what Aiden said in general, just about timing and it being a matter of timing on whether or not or when we would actually work on something on Substrate in Polkadot. I think for me, it kind of goes back to when I first heard about Polkadot and just believing in kind of the Web3 vision of owning your own data and re-decentralizing the web. That was back in 2017, and been following the progress with Polkadot. And when kind of Edgeware first came about in, I would say, early or late 2018, it was kind of an idea floating around the Web3 parity kind of ecosystem, and we were lucky enough to be in the right place and right time. And we actually announced our project Edgeware at Web3 Summit. So that was November of 2018. We announced and we started building on Substrate. That was really the piece of technology that we feel like we were waiting on, the way to essentially build modular blockchains. We built a few modules. We launched testnet from that point, and it's been all culminating essentially in this kind of block drop process that we're running, starting June. So it already started 10 days ago. I think it's a testament to kind of the three things that we really love about Polkadot: the core technology and how easy it is to build things, to kind of the fact that the community is so great and been so helpful in all these kind of respects. We have a working faucet to build testnet, to distribute faucets or tokens. We have a block explorer brought to you by PokeSource and PokeScan. An Impera-like service as well, again by that team as well. The whole infrastructure for a MetaMask type thing, they're all bundled in and let us kind of move really, really quickly. So we love Polkadot.
So I know, Dylan, you work on the Edgeware, and Adam is on ChainSafe. So I heard about these two projects, but please tell us more about what your projects are about and what's their current status.
Yeah, definitely. I know I touched a little bit upon what kind of Edgeware is and when we started. The one-liner is Edgeware is a Polkadot smart contract platform. And so essentially we will be one parachain within the ecosystem. We'll benefit from the security of Polkadot, but people will be able to build smart contracts that we kind of know and love from Ethereum as well, and still be able to communicate across all the different parachains. And so, as I mentioned before, the project kind of really kicked off in November of 2018, and we kind of built on Substrate. We launched 2 or 3 test nets. We built a few governance modules. One core feature of Edgeware is that it's essentially on-chain governed. So once you get Edgeware token, you can vote in this process. You can earn rewards from a DAO. Essentially 50% of the block reward will go to this DAO, which you'll vote on, and you'll be able to send funds to different projects in the ecosystem. But another kind of question that we wanted to answer was, how do we actually distribute tokens widely to a great set of stakeholders? And the answer for us was a process that we're calling the lock drop. And so that's something that started June 1st. It's been going on. It'll go on for the whole summer. And basically what the lock drop is a process to get Edgeware tokens. So you lock Ethereum, and you get Edgeware tokens, and you also will get Ethereum back. So you can lock for 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, or you can signal, so you can just sign a transaction to verify that you own that account, and you'll kind of receive Edgeware tokens. I think like 2,000 people have participated in the process already in 10 days, so that's really, really awesome. And hopefully we can bump that up, over the summer.
Yeah, so at ChainSafe, we work on a bunch of different projects. We're a group of 26 people based in Toronto, and our one-liner is building the infrastructure for Web 3.0. So the projects that we're very probably working on. One of them is an implementation of the beacon chain in TypeScript, which is phase 0 of Beacon 2.0. Another is Gossamer, which is our implementation of the Polkadot runtime environment, which for us we see as being moving forward one of the core pieces of technology that we get to use in our arsenal day to day, which is what makes us so proud to be working on this. As we're in a sense building it for ourselves. So where we're at right now, currently with our beacon chain implementation, we're converting a lot of our libraries, supplementary libraries, into assembly script to allow them to be more widely used in the ecosystem, and so they're not just reliant on us, or at least our implementation. And for Gossamer, we're at a place now where we've delivered a few of our milestones, and we're getting to the point where we're really getting to the fun stuff, so working on the WASM and consensus side of things, as well as the P2P side of things, which for us is the most exciting. And if you're interested in following us beyond this interview, I recommend to check out our GitHub and see what we're working on every day, because everything we do is open source.
Do you have any interest to build up your Chinese communities here?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, right now, for example, 5 people in our office are learning Mandarin once a week. I mean, I've been traveling a lot in Asia with Dylan as well, and what I've seen here is beyond anything we could ever kind of imagine to be able to do in North America. Firstly, with the amount of incredible developers that are here, the amount of technologists, regular people who are interested in the future of technology and using messaging apps and things that in North America we take for granted. We just assume it's a generational thing, but in Asia it's clearly not just a generational kind of gap that we're waiting to fill. And so for us, we really do see this as being where the future of blockchain really gets to prove itself.
Yeah, I definitely want to kind of echo what Aiden said. It's a really great ecosystem, and I'm Chinese, and so I love spending time in here and kind of all over across the ecosystem as well. And kind of the biggest thing that Aiden pointed out, the ecosystem is so vibrant that we really love to come back here, see all the developers, the validators, and different stakeholders. It seems like a place where a lot of projects are kind of happening. And it's always nice to try to bridge the gap between, I guess, America and the rest of the blockchain world. And I think hopefully this trip and this interview can go a long way in that process.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Alan. So the next question we will go to Dieter. So currently we notice the word substrate very often, especially in the Polkadot community. So what is substrate and how can we use it? What's the relationship between Polkadot network and substrate?
Yeah. So Dylan alluded to this a bit earlier, but Substrate is essentially a software development kit for blockchains. It's built by one of our key partners, Parity Technologies, and it allows developers who want to build an independent blockchain network to go in and use that software so they don't have to build everything from scratch. So you can go in as a developer who knows a bit of Rust and say, I want to use this consensus algorithm. I want to have a treasury DAO functionality, to reward people building out my ecosystem. I want to have smart contract support. I want all these kind of more or less standard features that have become standard to many different networks, but I don't want to write them all from scratch. And this is really, really special because it really just cuts down blockchain development time from weeks or months to like hours or days. There's a really kind of famous example in the Web3 space of Gavin Wood at last year's Web3 Summit, which is our annual conference held in Berlin every year, where he takes a brand new MacBook computer, downloads Substrate, builds a customized blockchain in like 30 minutes or maybe 40 minutes, and then spends another 20 minutes upgrading that blockchain without it ever going offline, without it ever stopping to produce blocks. And that's super special. I mean, we wouldn't even have thought that technology could exist like a year ago.
So right now we're in China, and for sure, Polkadot has a huge Chinese communities. What do you think about the Chinese partners, such as ChainSafe or Edgewares, and how do you think about them?
Yeah, so I mean, we are really, really privileged to have great Chinese partners. I mean, people like I'mToken, LongHash, ChainX that really are dedicated to supporting our ecosystem, and you know, we really need these partners, and they've just been so amazing to us, which is great. In terms of like where we're going to go from that, we are really interested in a lot of local Chinese projects that we're still learning about. So projects like Alltrain, Conflux, Nervos, you know, these are examples of projects, and like Platon as well, that we don't know very well and we're starting to get to know, but we really think that we share a lot of great ideals with them, like such as a focus on the tech, which is massive for us, and also more than that, shared ideals on what Web3 can bring to the world, you know, in the form of data sovereignty and increased decentralization. And I think over the next few months and over the next year, our goal is to really learn about these projects and see if we can collaborate with them and bring them into our ecosystem in some way.
So the next question is for Dylan and Ida. We all know, especially when we talk about cross-chain, people always compare Cosmos and Polkadot. So as the contributors for Polkadot, how do you see these two projects?
Yeah, so I think even stepping back and not even looking at those two projects, I think a lot of what the ideals of the blockchain space were founded on were being kind of building something that wasn't just a zero-sum game, and building something where everyone can benefit from. And I think both Polkadot and Cosmos kind of take that perspective as well. And really, it comes down to kind of technical choices that each project makes and chooses to make, whether it's security model, different ways to pass messages back and forth, that really maybe differentiate the projects. And so it's really incumbent on each specific developer to kind of choose that. I think for us specifically, Polkadot made a lot of sense since we didn't want to do the heavy lifting on finding our own validator community. To do a lot of the things, we really wanted to focus on the technology, on governance, and that's kind of what really excites us about Polkadot.
Yeah, I very much echo Dylan's sentiments on this, you know, and just even bringing Ethereum into the mix. I really do see these things as fundamentally different. The design decisions that were made technically in terms of the security guarantees, how shared security works from a validator perspective. There's just so much that's different between the projects. And so, you know, I think that a lot of the comparison comes from a lack of maybe education, especially, you know, in different communities that maybe don't get access to, you know, the core developers as much. But I think that, you know, looking at the projects on their technical merits, it's very clear that, you know, there's differences between them that will decide what projects want to build on these different platforms. And so for us, you know, Polkadot was definitely kind of the platform that we saw as providing the security guarantees that we feel are necessary when building the stuff that we're building. So, you know, we're very much proud to be a part of that process of, you know, seeing how the specs are being finalized and seeing how, you know, Substrate is being taken to a place of, you know, being even more and more stable. So yeah, I mean, this has been an incredibly collaborative process where lots of different ecosystem partners have really come to play with this technology and, you know, add value beyond just building specific projects. And so that's what for us Polkadot is and was so exciting.
So this is indeed a very, very short interview. I'm sure there must be something that you want to share with the audience, but I haven't covered the topic.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess for us, like, we're really, really excited about China. I mean, this is a culture that we need to learn a lot more about, and we really need to get educated on the developer community here and their wants and needs. But I guess when I come here, I do see a lot of commonalities between the developer community here and the Web3 ethos and kind of the want and need for decentralization and sovereignty over data. And so I think China could become one of the most important markets for us. And I'm just so consistently amazed by the quality of developers here. And yeah, I guess I'm just really excited about continuing to come here and continuing to see the great projects that are built here and continuing to work with developers.
I guess I'll kind of just echo what I said before about the lock drop process. So it's an open process. Anyone can participate as long as they have Ethereum. You can go to our site, edgeware.com/lockdrop. And I mean, we're trying to build a very vibrant community. So that means all stakeholders, whether they be people who are guaranteeing the economic security or validating at the beginning, to core developers, protocol level developers, or dApp devs, or even end users who just want to experiment and play with all the tools that different developers actually come up with. So the process is running all summer long. As long as you have Ethereum, you can use one of the partners' IM token, and you can lock straight from there. It's one single page, and it's pretty simple. So that's all I have.
Sure.
Thanks. I would just say, let's start a conversation. As core developers, we really cannot solve the world's problems. We need communities and ecosystems to really be the ones that identify the problems that they need to be solved. And so for us, and the reason we're here is to really see those problems and see what people are building. So I would say, just please reach out. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know how we can collaborate. And let's build awesome stuff together.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. I heard that there's lots of friends of mine. They're from the other city, but near Shanghai, they even took a train tickets to come to this meetup today. So I wish you have a great success of this meetup later today. Thank you so much.
polkadot 的建设与他们的生态发展非常令人期待，我们也会持续关注这些项目。感谢您的收看，想要了解更多内容，请扫描节目后的2维码。我是Camille。